Howdy, howdy, good evening, good evening. Hope everybody's doing well. Last night I felt like wholly unprepared. I was sitting here and I had no idea what really to talk about because I don't know, the news just wasn't super remarkable in most ways yesterday, or at least not any of it that I had ran across, so I decided tonight my intent was to put up 4 articles. That way it'd just give me a backup of something to talk about. But I wound up having to go with 5 because recently the official announcement came about Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and the positions that they are being offered, and so I've been waiting for the official word on a lot of it because there's some of it that's not confirmed. Like as far as I know, Marco Rubio is not confirmed. As far as like from Trump or anyone in his administration, lots of news putting the headlines out there. But we're not getting the same type of announcements as we are with all of these others. And there has been a pretty large list of individuals that have been tapped for different positions at this point. Today, quite a few of them came out. So anyway, one of them that I'm sure many of you was waiting on was Elon Musk. And rightfully so. And so that finally came out today. Kash Patel, I can't remember for sure if it's FBI or CIA, but one of those two, he's been tapped to be in charge of. And I find that extremely interesting. And if you watch the Jason A video that was put out tonight, you'll see that, well, they, those, them are basically put on notice. So we'll see. More of this that comes out, the more concern I have that something could happen before the election. Because holy cow, some of the people, is his name Thomas Homan, I believe? A gentleman that's supposed to be in charge of of immigration, and yeah, they're from my understanding from remarks he said, he's pretty much going to give them 2 options, right? Either the military can fly them back home, or they can pay for their own flight if they so choose. He's got no problem with that. If they want to pay for their own flight, choose which airline they want to go on. He's got no problem with that. Or they can hop on a military flight and go home. One of the two. Those are the options. And it's like, woof. Man. So there's definitely going to be pushback. And I don't think we're yet even, coming across the slightest bit of it. So, but it is what it is. I mean, our country is in peril. We are in distress, and we have to treat the situation as such. It's almost like the United States is in the ICU, right? And hopefully we learned a few things about just shoving ventilators down people's throats, but I don't know. Maybe some of these folks need a little more CO2. Maybe we should put a mask on them and give them a little more CO2. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. But anyway, they have tapped Elon. Let me go ahead and kind of get that story out of the way. Like I say, I do have 5 of them up there for tonight and a little bit of fun along with it. But so let's go ahead and go to the Elon story. Elon Musk tapped for White House job. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has announced that entrepreneurs Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will lead a new Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge. I find that very interesting. During his second term in the White House. Now, it should be obvious why I find that interesting. Because Doge, if you will, I believe that's how they pronounce it, is the name of a cryptocurrency. It's the name of a coin, a meme coin. So, I don't even know what to think about that. That, maybe it's ironic. Maybe it's just a little, I don't know, having a little bit of fun. It could certainly be that. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So anyway, going on here. Together, these two wonderful Americans will pave the way for my administration to dismantle government bureaucracy, slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies, Trump said in a statement on Tuesday. Musk was quoted in the statement as saying that this will send shockwaves through the system and anyone involved in government waste, which is a lot of people. The new department will become potentially the Manhattan Project of our time. I'll say that again. The new department will become potentially the Manhattan Project of our time, the statement read, referring to the World War II era nuclear research program that allowed the U.S. to build the world's first atomic bomb. So I thought that was one heck of a statement. One heck of a statement. So we'll see. I was kind of wondering where, I knew that there was an interest to put Vivek in a position, and I was kind of curious as to what position that he was going to wind up tapped for, and now we know. Coffee. And got another story here that and I kind of titled the show after it, that I think is just nuts. I mean, beyond nuts. And that's just nonsense that that Beyonce is going to have a university course made after her. For what? I mean, I can't even see where that would be good for somebody that wanted to go into some type of an acting or singing or arts career or anything like that. Because, come on, let's face it. I mean, really, let me tell you something. There's a whole lot of good performers out there. A whole lot of good performers. And a lot of them that don't have a bunch of bad juju that goes with them. And I understand in order to get in those ranks with those people, you have to accept certain things and certain lifestyles especially. Do we need a college course to funnel people into this? I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I have hope. I have hope. I do have hope that we are at the dawn of a new culture. Maybe I'm just bullshitting myself. Maybe I've put rose-colored glasses on myself. That's very possible. But I feel like we're at the very edge, the very beginning of a new culture. And that, this whole woke stuff, I think is about to go to the wayside. I think it was Tim Pool, yeah, it was, had on one of his videos earlier to where I guess even one of the liberal commentators was actually said the words, well, it was in I believe an opinion piece that was on a liberal page or something that this lady was reading, and literally the lady was quoted as saying, "Go woke, go broke," and I thought, wow. Because the only one that I really heard saying that over and over before was Tim Pool himself. So I thought that was shocking that that was being said on a liberal publication in the opinion from a liberal leaning person. So I think we are at the beginning of a culture shift. And I think it's a good one. I hope it's a more wholesome one. We'll see. I mean, we could be on our way to hell in a handbasket too. I don't have a crystal ball, but um anyway, yeah, that nonsense. I'm not really gonna go deep into it because I don't really care. I'm not going to support you, AP. It's not gonna happen. Never. Never, I say. Oh, anyway. Get that stupid thing out of my face. Oh, man. Figured we'd run through these real quick. Houthis claim attack on U.S. aircraft carrier. That's not good. Dig into that real quick for a moment. Says Yemen's Houthis launched a successful missile attack on the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea on Tuesday, according to a statement posted by X by spokesman Yahya Saree. A second attack targeted 2 American naval destroyers in the Red Sea, he said. The Houthis are a Shia group styling themselves as the Yemeni government and who control the capital Sana'a, or however, and northwest of the country. They have been disrupting Israeli and Western shipping in the Red Sea for almost a year in an effort to pressure Israel to stop attacking Gaza. Tuesday's strikes involved a number of cruise missiles and drones and were conducted while the American enemy was preparing to carry out hostile operations targeting Yemen, the Houthi statement said. According to Saree, the group achieved its goal successfully and an air attack by U.S. forces was thwarted. The 2 operations lasted 8 hours, he added. So, yeah. I thought that was a little bit crazy. Things are not... I mentioned... I believe it was yesterday, that, things aren't quiet over there. Things are, oh yeah, I seen ya. I didn't see all of it though. I only seen when your very first comment. Oh, you must be talking about Beyonce with the fake body. Oh, man. Oh, when I read, I do kind of get into it. Yep. Oh, man. Yeah, it's been great. Oh, I learned today how to use Steam VR inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So now I can take all my little windows in with me, and I like that. Because, like, I've got an app on my computer that for my security cameras. And I can actually take that in VR with me so I can keep an eye, situational awareness. But I could bring in a YouTube window or whatever I wanted to bring in. I can bring in anything into VR so I can be sitting there gaming and watching a YouTube video. And when you're flying, I mean, if you're not, doing crazy stuff, if you're just cruising around or whatever, heck yeah, that would be awesome to be able to sit there and, kick back, watch a video while you've got the autopilot set and just cruising along the coast or whatever. That would be, that'd be cool. So I figured out how to do that today. I know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. Gotta have a few vapes. So our dog is like heavily addicted to homemade bread. She doesn't get much because I don't want to screw up her digestive system, but dude, she really does treat it like it's crack. It is insane. I can make a loaf of bread, and about the time, oh no, she's actually looking good. She's thinned down. From since I've been making her dog food and stuff, she actually, as far as her weight and muscle and all that, she's the healthiest she's ever been. She was fat, but I can make a loaf of bread, and near the time that it's done rising and rises, it starts to bake. She starts getting really antsy about it, and once it starts baking and you got the smell of bread in the air, she is up my butt until it's done, and then still up my butt. And I keep telling her it's gotta cool, it's gotta cool. She's the most hilarious dog. She's sleeping now, but I'm probably gonna get a big huff because I'm talking about her. Oh man. Yeah. Other than that, I didn't do much. I just kind of kept an eye on the headlines coming in and stuff. Um, Happy that Rubio is not yet confirmed, and I am far from alone when it comes to not being a big fan of his. So there's a lot of people that I see coming out and saying, "Hey, man, no, that's please not." So we'll see. Secretary of State, man, that's an awful tall job to give him. It really is. So, but I know Trump's named his Secretary of Defense, and I cannot remember who that was. Or National, well, I think he did Secretary of Defense too. National Security Advisor is Mike Waltz, and I don't know anything about him. Defense Secretary, I know he named it. I know he named it. And I don't know the guy. Pete Hegseth or something like that. I have no idea. Don't know nothing about the guy. Let's see. Oh, sweet! I just saw what you said. That's awesome. um, I wonder, did he say what he was? If he was a technician or what class he was? That's pretty cool. Or is that what you were saying? Top ham license, the extra. Extra amateur, I believe, is the full name of it. Actually, on the test. Technician, general, and extra amateur. Actually, I think it actually just says extra. I could be wrong on the test. It might just say extra. Sweet. Make sure you keep your old glasses, hang on to them. Maybe even toss them in your bug out bag or something. Always have that backup pair. I know when it comes to seeing things up close, small things, if I don't have readers on, I'm screwed. And I know my eyes aren't that horribly terrible because I can use a cheap pair of readers to correct them, but um, it sucks. I never used to be that way, man. My vision used to be insane good. I'm sure staring at computer screens for decades helped him a lot. Well, yeah, if he's a doctor, he's not a dumbass. Man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of information when it comes to the medical field. Even, believe it or not, even to be a barber, you have to learn an insane amount of information about human biology just to become a freaking barber. I have a cousin named Paul. Haven't seen or heard anything about him. I hope he's still with us, but I don't even know, to be honest. But he had told me about everything he went through to just get his barber's license. It was insane. Damn, that's crazy. You have known him a long time. Well, that's a good one, especially if he's got if he's got a ham radio license, especially if he's an extra. Dude, that's information that you need to put back in the old mental notebook, because that would be a good one to have. So certainly keep in mind. Talk to him, find out what set up a frequency. I don't know if I'm assuming he must live somewhere near around you. You two ought to work out a frequency that if something should go down, that you can hook up on. So, because I'm sure he won't. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's an emergency. You can go on any channel, but. Oh, dude, that's freaking awesome. I just read. I know people watching later on have no idea. um, yeah, I mean, that's awesome if he can pass your name along to the whoever's running those repeaters, because that automatically gets your name tossed around. So, yeah, I would just that same frequency, like I told you, I would. When you see your license show up in the database, I would start trying to reach out, see if you can get a hold of them, and just tell them you heard them speaking, and you were interested in what they got going on. You were waiting for your license to get, and they'll appreciate that. Even, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's GMRS, but still, they'll appreciate that. You held off until you got your license, or until you got your call sign. Oh man. Well, anyway, let me go to this next story here. UK may have to provide troops to Kiev if U.S. cuts aid, says Boris Johnson. And I've been kind of curious how they're going to react over there, because I am pretty sure that Trump's gonna cut a lot of it out real quick. And so, I'm curious. I'm curious. Pardon me. The article says UK cannot let Ukraine suffer defeat in its ongoing conflict with Russia. Former British Prime Minister Boris Johnson told GB News in an interview published on Tuesday London could go as far as sending in troops if Kiev goes down, he warned. According to Johnson, Russia's success in Ukraine would spark a security crisis for the U.S. and its allies on a multitude of fronts. It'll be the Baltic states. It'll be in Georgia. You'll see the impact of a Ukrainian defeat in the Pacific theater. You'll see it in the South China Sea, the politician said, without specifying what exactly could happen in those regions. He also described military and financial assistance to Kiev as a sensible investment and a good way to spend public funds, arguing that the UK would supposedly have to pay much more otherwise because our collective security will be really degraded by a resurgent Russia threatening all sorts of parts of Europe. Former Prime Minister also pointed out to the prospect that of the U.S. cutting aid to Kiev as a potential risk, claiming some people with wrong views on the issue were in President-elect Donald Trump's inner circles. You don't say. Donald Trump has lots of different voices in his ears, and there's a front of the Republican Party, quite a lot of them actually, who take the wrong line on Ukraine, he said. Yeah, right? Anybody that's not a neocon. Imagine that. So, I am really curious. Because if they decide to step up, I got stupid hair in my mouth. If they decide to step up, if let's say Trump cuts aid or whatever and says, we're not giving you any more weapons, we're not giving you any more money. If you want to sit down and have a talk about this, then, we're done. I don't know at that point, and I think it's going to come down to that situation. I don't know what Europe and the UK is going to do. I have no idea. If they continue on, I do believe that the United States will cut all funding and aid of any kind and leave it between all of them. Now, if it gets to that point, I think that's when Russia's going to just put an end to it. I'm not saying that they're going to all out go after everybody else, but I think they're going to put a stomping down in Ukraine, and like has never been seen. And I think they're going to target leadership and all kinds of stuff, because what kind of war is it when you don't target the capital? I mean, in a mass amount. What kind of war is it if you're not trying to take out the leadership or leaders? You know, what leaders has Putin gone after? He hasn't. There's not many wars that I know of that you don't try to go after the leadership, the command, because that sends a very strong message. And that's been my biggest argument against, those that say that, Putin's trying to take all of Ukraine. No, he's not. If he was trying to take all of Ukraine, he would be trying to take out the leadership. Common sense. But that is not what is going on. So, got one more. Anyway, I thought this was kind of a messed up situation. China is certainly not very forthcoming about what's going on. Reckon we can take a real quick peek at that, and I'll be done with the articles I had up. China. This is in China. Driver rams his car into a crowd in China, killing 35. Police say he was upset about his divorce. I thought, wow. And that reminds me, by the way, of another story. I meant to talk about it, but I actually forgot to pull anything up on it because I was going to have to do some digging. Tim Pool talked about it earlier. Apparently, there was some chick, I don't remember, state of Washington maybe, that or in Seattle, might have been in Seattle. Anyway, she killed her dad, like on election day. And from my understanding, the article initially said that it was, it was in some form or fashion associated to the election. And it had also do with something to do with lights. He wanted, I believe, lights turned on. She wanted them turned off. I don't know. And supposedly, she just flipped out and stabbed him with what was described as an ice axe. So, an ice axe. So anyway, absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Anyway, this is a different situation in China. It says a man who authorities said was upset over his divorce settlement rammed his car into a crowd of people exercising at a sports complex in southern China, killing 35 and severely injuring dozens of others, police said Tuesday. Police detained a 62-year-old man who was being treated for wounds thought to be self-inflicted shortly after the attack Monday night in the southern Chinese city of Zhuhai. The city is hosting the People's Liberation Army's annual aviation exhibition, which opened Tuesday, and searches for what happened were heavily censored for the users behind China's Great Firewall. Outside of the controls, however, videos circulated on the social media platform X, and several dozens of people could be seen lying on the track at the sports complex, which is regularly used by hundreds of residents to run, play soccer, or dance. In one, shared by news blogger and dissident Li Ying, a woman says, "My foot is broken." That same video showed a firefighter performing CPR on a person as others were told to leave. Lee, who is known on X as Teacher Lee, posts daily news based on user submissions. So in addition to the 35 people killed, police say 43 were injured. Police set up barricades at the entrance to the sports complex Tuesday, barring people from entering. However, members of the public left bouquets by the square just adjacent to the sports center. It says China has seen a number of attacks in which suspects appear to target members of the public at random. In October, a man was detained after he allegedly attacked children with a knife at a school in Beijing. 5 people were wounded. In September, 3 people were killed in a knife attack in Shanghai supermarket, and 15 others were injured. Police said at that time that the suspect had personal financial disputes and came to Shanghai to vent his anger. In May, 2 people were killed and 21 injured in a knife attack in a hospital in Yunnan province. Police identified the man detained on Monday's attack only by his family name of Fan, as is typical, and said he was unconscious and receiving medical care after being found in his car with a knife and wounded. He was dissatisfied with the split of financial assets in his divorce, according to a preliminary investigation, police said. So, anyway, kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. But much is the world today, including zombie liberals. Oh, man. I'd seen that picture today and couldn't resist. Oh man. I don't believe most hams are sad hams. It's just that handful of them that kind of ruin it. Some kind of headline came up on my phone, checking it out. Nelly will not face charges in connection with Maryland Heights arrest. Well then. Oh yeah, I got another YouTube video removed early in the morning. And I don't know if it's a retribution for every time that I bring it up, but I brought it up again, YouTube. So go ahead, take another one. Take as many as you like, because I have a feeling that for each and every video of mine that you take down, you know how there's been a lot of talk about reparations? I want my reparations. We'll talk about that maybe in about a year. Seriously, I would be surprised if there isn't something done for people that have been targeted, people that have been trying to do media and stuff like that, and YouTube and or other platforms have targeted them and tried to censor or silence them. I have a feeling that there is going to be a day. Don't forget, things probably look kind of glum for those folks in Germany, right? But eventually, the Nuremberg trials came around. And that's one thing I don't think that a lot of these folks are thinking about. Because some of the stuff that they're doing is actually pretty serious. And, some of it, you wouldn't have to stretch real far to call it crimes against humanity. So, last I knew, world governments didn't look too kindly on that. Well, they're not supposed to. I mean, it's the world governments that are behind it. But, they're not openly, most of them are not openly behind it. I don't know, I have a feeling that things are about to get exposed on a level that we can't even fathom at this point. I really do. I think we're about to be told a lot of information. Some of it probably that we never in a million years would have ever believed it would have came out. But we'll see. We'll see. I know everybody's itching for JFK files. I know obviously people are itching for the Epstein list, the Diddy list. I myself am most interested in anything related to 9/11 to be released and completely, unredacted. That's been long enough now that there shouldn't be anything in there that puts anybody at risk. Same's true for JFK and, well, when it comes to Epstein and Diddy, too damn bad. Maybe you shouldn't be involved in things like that if you don't want your name publicly being attached to things like that. It is insane the level that they help these people hide. Absolutely insane. One second. Alrighty. Fun, fun, fun. So yeah, it's pretty much been a laid back day watching these whatever you want to call it, nominations coming in. Like I say, there's been a number of them throughout the day, so some of them I am so stoked about. It sounds like this Homan guy is really going to be good for immigration. I mean, something like that needs to be dealt with aggressively, because that is a serious issue. That's one of the biggest threats to this nation at the moment. The economy and immigration, probably the two biggest threats. You know, I have a feeling if we leave other countries alone, they might be a little more apt to leave us alone. It's kind of how that works. And we need to do a lot of focus in here at home, and I think that's what we're about to see happen. I'm optimistic anyway. And if you've been around very long, you know I don't back politicians. I'm optimistic. It's not that it can't get worse, because it most certainly can get worse. However, I'll say the same thing that Trump himself said to the black community. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? I mean, of course, we've got a lot to lose, but we know damn well it would have been lost if evil would have maintained control. I mean, the pure evil, because I'm sorry, I can't look at Biden or Kamala or Obama's or Clinton's or a whole lot of them as anything other than evil. Oh, man. Oh, I did notice, I thought this was interesting. Oh, they did up it. So, earlier today, AP's results were Democrats 204, GOP 214, and it had been that all day. Right? Of course, you know, Decision Desk has already called it. I think Reuters were close to calling it. However, AP was stuck on 204 Dems and 214 GOP. Well, then I saw the Dems go up to 205. And okay. And I started waiting to see GOP go up to 215, because that's what they've been doing, right? One and then the other, and then the, back and forth. But then I saw Dems go from 205 to 206, and I'm like, get the out of here. Because, like, we already know, I mean, there would have to be such a massive upset to have not gotten that with the amount of Republicans that are leading, and the amounts that some of them are leading at. To be honest, it should be called by now. So, anywho, they upped Democrats to 206, and just now, when I looked at it, because I was going to talk about it, I noticed that they did bump up the GOP too, so now it's 206 Democrats to 216 GOP. So, and Alaska is one of them that they have shown. AK1 let's bring that up here. I show, 49.4 percent to 45.4%, 80% reporting, and it's Alaska, so it's not like, you know. So it's like, you can't call that? You mean you really can't call that? Come on now. That one would put them at, obviously 217. And then any one of the others, let's see, there's, I think all of them are up there at this point. Yep. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possibles, right? And there's only 2 that they need in order to have control of the House. So, and you know damn well they're going to get Alaska. So, 1 out of the rest of them to secure it. I think AP is just trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe they're crying, maybe they're losing their minds. I don't know what they're doing over there, but they're not moving numbers, that's for sure. Oh, man. I don't really see anything else, news-wise. I'm taking a peek. No. Nope. I've been, I could show you. I'm not doing much with it yet, however. Oops. There we go. I don't got much to it yet. I've just been putting up the show. I did that the last 3 days. And then, I don't know why that one's narrower. That's weird. But just, been putting the shows up. I don't have anything on there. I put a banner up today. I'll probably change it around a little bit. So, like I said, I'm hesitant to put a whole lot of work into it, because if I can't afford to keep it by the end of next month, then it's kind of a lost cause anyway. But I will do a little bit here and there until I know one way or another. So, let's see. I don't know of anything else. I went earlier, I brought up Reuters. I just brought up the Reuters page to take a look at it. That was kind of scary. It's scary what they talk about. It really is. Oh, the Trump hush money judge delayed the ruling on immunity following election win. You're going to see a lot of that stuff. Oh, they're saying right now, Reuters, by the way, Dems 207 and Republicans 216. So, I'm looking to see if there's anything. Let's see. I guess a U.S. judge blocked Louisiana from requiring 10 commandments in classrooms. Yeah, I don't, I don't, honestly, and I like the idea of having the 10 commandments in courtrooms and classrooms and stuff like that, but I don't think it should be required. That I don't believe. So, I think it's not just freedom of religion, it's also freedom from religion. I don't think that those that choose not to believe or want to believe something alternative I think that should be perfectly fine. That being said, I don't think every one of them need represented. And if you let one represent, then you got to let others represent. I mean, in all fairness. So, it's literally the First Amendment that your religion can't be held against you. Period. They can't prevent your religion. So, I'm good with that. I think it would be good as an option if they wanted. That should be up to that particular school district because, you've got states that have the Bible Belt and you got states that are largely secular. So, let them do their thing. That's the way this country's supposed to be. It's supposed to be ruled from the ground up, not the top down. That seems to get forgotten an awful lot. Anyway, I am close enough to 9. I am gonna get out of here and get some rest. I'm just always exhausted. I don't know what the deal is. So, but it is what it is. I'm still breathing. So, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, and God willing, we'll be back tomorrow night. Probably this is how I'll do. I'll probably have 4 or 5 or so articles, just so I can make sure I've got something to talk about. So, anyway, I am out of here. Hope y'all have a good night, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Shalom.